afternoon, everyone. This is Jared RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, April 11, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. What's the root cause of us as a people to worry? We do it on a daily basis. Could be little things. It just depends for each one of us on how we view it. You hear this all the time. People say, they go, I'm not going to worry. The heck with it. But it creeps back in. And why is it? Well, we know it's connected to the ego mind. Ego mind's very insecure, always looking for security, always looking for more. And it's one of the most destructive habits a human mind can entertain. And it is a dis-ease of the psyche, which forms when we feel disconnected from our soul and our spiritual roots. Something happens in this life, and a perpetual stream of negative fear-based thoughts flood into our heads and begin repeating themselves over and over and over again. Fearful feelings will bubble up inside and fill the narrowing mind with doubt and resistance to trusting this life. And the thing that, whatever it is, that we focus and worry about, may or may not manifest. That's, and yet the mind clenches too tight and is not able to let go and relax. Now, a lot of us rely on what? The logical, rational mind to serve as our guide and forget what it's like to live from our heart. Many of us do that on the planet. I believe we've all done it. We then become lost in the trail of perpetual tension, left behind in the mind's anxious what-if thinking. Now, the worrier inside of us has lost its spiritual roots. It's forgotten how to deeply enjoy this life, be free from attachments in this world, and trust that everything is always unfolding perfectly in this divine, all-intelligent universe, which never, ever makes mistakes. So what's connected to this? What's the root instigator to this worrying and fear and everything? It's attachment is what it is. Now, if you're attached to something, right, it could be anything. You wouldn't let go of it for love nor money. You're going to suffer. That's where it all comes from. We form attachments to things, things, people, whatever. It depends on the level of attachment. Sometimes then we use the word obsessive, okay? Where we obsess over something that we have such a high attachment to. You'll see this in relationships at times, where one or the other is obsessed with the other. which is a very heavy attachment. And then that means the insecurity of the ego mind kicks in heavy duty, and there's where you'll have, I don't want you seeing this, I don't want you to talk to that person, I don't want you being out here and doing this, or I don't want you to wear this, and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of issues that arise from that, as we all know. So the attachment, the grip on something, causes us to worry about it, stress about it, fear about it. Fear of losing it. Fear of not having it. It could be a house. It could be a car. It could be clothing. It doesn't matter. Everybody's different in that respect. So it's an effect of not trusting our spiritual connection to the universe, this universe. And it's a disconnection that creates the assumption that we are powerless beings who are not the real manifestors of our future. So many people believe that the future it's something out there controlling it. Okay, not you, not the God within you, but something out there is controlling it. And creating the assumption that we are powerless beings who are not the real manifestors of our future. And maybe you've experienced this, probably, most likely, is that when, you worry, right? It could be anything. And it never happens. And you spend all that time stressing and fearing. And it never happens. 99% of the time. Now, yet it's that, and this is what a lot of people do, it's that 1% that the mind worries about. That 1%. The ego mind wants full control of reality, thinking that having a stronger, more strategic hold on this life is the most optimum place to be. What happens when we resist trusting in this life? We stop letting in love and honoring the divine mystery that surrounds us. The ego mind then becomes very tight, tense, demanding, controlling, and worried about everything. The ego abhors being weak, vulnerable, and unprotected from unexpected change. It thinks real strength is found in hardness and wants total security, safety, and 100% guarantee that this life will be okay. Yet it doesn't realize that this life is a perpetual leap of faith into the unknown for all of us. A perpetual leap of faith. Into the unknown. The ego has forgotten that true strength is found in softness and that water always wins over rock in the end. Our ego is learning how to have a soft, forgiving heart filled with trust. For this is the only way to relax, enjoy this lifetime, and truly become stress and worry-free. People go, well, how can you be stress-free? Pretty easy. You just don't participate in the mind. Now, all of us, none of us are exempt. It's kind of tricky. That little worrier within us can be a bit tricky to catch, right? And sometimes super challenging to stop. We can get accustomed to blindly following the over-analytical, skeptical, doubting mindset and feel this is more intelligent and trustworthy than our free-flowing, spontaneously arising intuition. Now, this part inside of us is that part which has stopped appreciating this life just the way it is. It feels incapable of accepting that whatever will manifest tomorrow will be for the highest good of all concerned. The worrier inside of us is like a 24-hour slave laborer who is constantly efforting for security through pushing the mind to dwell only on a negative perspective of life. It is logical and so fearful that it believes thinking positively is just some weak, gullible, naive, unrealistic mindset that is unprepared for some potential future horror that could occur. That's what it believes. Then you can see why so many of us succumb to that. A great Chinese proverb: if your problem has a solution, then why worry about it? If your problem doesn't have a solution, then why worry about it? I have watched people worry to the point where they were exhausted. They couldn't communicate well. They couldn't sleep. I mean, it's just a horrible thing to watch. It really is. And maybe you've experienced this. No matter what you say or do to comfort that being, you can tell that it's still there. See, there's not much we can do to convince a super worried mind that a negative outcome is not coming ahead. I mean, how many times have you found yourself talking with people, maybe loved ones, friends, acquaintances, and you said, you say to them, there's no reason to worry about that. That's not going to happen. And then, of course, usually what do you get on the rebut? How do you know? How do you know that? You don't know that. I believe it's going to happen. This is a great day. It's a wonderful day. Not really. Looks like it's going to rain. See what I mean? So you come across a worrier feels at home and life is somewhat under control if it keeps thinking negative thoughts. That's why so many people on this planet keep thinking negative thoughts. The worried brain cocktail generates this right feeling. That the right feeling is that we should be worried. And continue on this path, being even more serious and concerned about any potentially highly critical or important life situation. The worried mind can't trust life or take a vacation. It's never a good time to joke around, have any fun, appreciate our spiritual nature, or celebrate being alive today. Now, these like biochemicals have taken over the brain. And it's so powerful that the only place to find any freedom or clarity is by shifting gears into higher consciousness. In other words, meditation. That's really it right there. And when we interject a steady stream of pure awareness into our minds, we slowly stop believing that our fearful fantasy is going to manifest. The energy of pure consciousness acts like a river of clean, clear flowing water which purifies away the negative ideas which have little foundation in reality. By simply being aware of our consciousness for even a few minutes, we can instantly release our ego's need to be afraid and in control. We can begin to sip a deeper, succulent experience of this life that feels open, trusting, and loves enjoying the sensations of a deeper relaxation inside. Quote from Ramana Maharishi: "The normal self is the mind. The mind is with limitations, but pure consciousness, beyond limitation, and is reached by investigation into the I." You could spend, literally, you could tell a worry mind several million times not to worry. Yet the reason why it continues worrying is that it is uneducated. Doesn't know how to relax the body. How many people are like that? You know, they think they're relaxing, they're really not. They try all kinds of crap. Right? It doesn't know how to relax the body, love the mystery, and trust in a perfect future. Oh, you can't have a perfect future. So, are you crazy? How can you have a perfect future? You never know what's going to happen. Instead of saying anything is possible in a good context. Now, it thinks too much, feels too powerless, and feels the need to be in control of it all. Got to be control of everything. Got to control everything. Yet when it imagines some fearful scene is occurring, it believes its thoughts are having no energetic impact on the outer environment or people. But it does. This worried mindset is ignorant of what quantum physics has proven the past 50 years, that thoughts are things that impact our world. You know why they impact our world? Because we bring them in. We're the power. We're the power conduit. We're the energy source. Thoughts are really just thoughts. They're empty shells. But when you give them power, move them into form, bring them into your reality, and experience them, and they're powerful. All of us in this very now moment, every thought and feeling we have is impacting our environment, community, and this entire world on some level. For example, you can be connected with someone, okay? Whether through internet correspondence or whatever, or in person. And let's say they live halfway around the world, and you're here in America. Now, it's a proven fact that any of us who are emotionally close with, on the other side of the world, that being, can feel it when we shift into a highly emotional state of love, anxiety, or fear. Every time. There's no miss there. We know people are more prone to doing business with those who live from a state of trust, faith, and connection, rather than worry and fear. We are able to manifest, magnetize, and attract the right people and situations we want when our heart is resonating with the feeling that everything is going to be fine. And the more we understand this deep power we each hold in every thought we think, the easier it will become to step back from the worried mindset and transcend it. Now, when we cannot step away from the mind, what are we? We are a mere slave to its forces. When we look at our fears, stress, worries directly, we may see that they typically are directed at the outer world. The mind tends to get hooked on thoughts about possessions, doesn't it? Money, situations, home life, our physical bodies, what other people think. When our loved ones are doing okay, and what we will manifest in our future. The untrained mind, because it's really untrained big time, can worry about anything. It is a real creative genius that will poke around every possible fearful corner. It's going to find something. It's going to conjure up something. Sometimes it will worry about our loved ones, thinking that this is a form of caring about them. I've often shared with people, say, well, look at Frank as being happy, healthy, and wonderfully well. Okay? But over here, the other one is what? Worry, stressing, and fearing if Frank's going to leave the body. Okay? Huge difference. Huge. We might even feel guilty if they don't worry about them. If people don't worry about their loved ones, they feel guilty about that, thinking that not worrying or fearing for their life means we don't truly care about them. Problem with this is that this energy, say, is sending out a negative vibration of fear that is unhealthy, untrusting, unsupportive, and actually pulls their loved ones down energetically. When we worry about someone, it energetically drains the life force of another person, cutting off our trusting relationship with them, causing them to feel more isolated and lonely in this universe. Be aware. Be mindful. This worrying is a highly unconscious habit that can become more addictive than cocaine. It can completely destroy a life that was potentially filled with joy, love, and laughter. And I've witnessed this. Some of you probably have too. When we don't learn how to transcend this addictive mindset, the energy can even implode within ourselves. When it becomes self-abusive, we perpetually doubt who we are, why we're here, what we are doing, and we fear being wrong about everything we say and feel. We can end up doubting our lives on every level. And this can evolve into an insanely stressful way of being that manifests into a psychosomatic dis-ease and eventually leaving the body, or on this planet, death. It's vital to create a new response to this life where we are deeply appreciating and trusting each moment, feeling the great goodness of this life that is naturally here, all around us. Whole different perspective. Do not do this. See, what we do every day is we go into a meditation. We get into a comfortable position, whatever position that is for us. We set up, however we set up our meditation area. We lay down or sit, just depends. And we ease into the body. We become as still as a statue, and we relax into the body. And we listen to our breath rise and fall. What happens in that transition, because you have left the ego mind alone, because it's blathering off in the future, and it's blathering off in tomorrow and yesterday. What about all those thoughts, 60,000 plus a day? What happens to that mind chatter? It's not there. This is great. This trains the mind. You're training your mind by doing this. What happens to the mind? Well, you're not in the mind. You're not in yesterday or tomorrow. You're in the now. Mind's not there. It'll try to pull you out. It will. And if it does pull you out, you just go right back in. This is how you master your thoughts. This is how you master the ego mind. There's no other way. For millions and billions of years, beings have tried to do it every other way they could, but this is the only way. It isn't difficult. You relax into the body. We're all building for ourselves. Completely different than what it's been on this planet. We start reclaiming a life full of trust and joy. And we embrace the fact that every single worried thought that we have is being generated by you. Nobody else, nothing else, you. You're the one creating it. All of us. And so, you're the one who can stop creating it. You're the only one. It's not like there's something going to help you stop it. Now, it's a choice, right? If you don't take responsibility for it, how are you going to stop it? Like anything. Simply investigate what is happening inside. You'll see that your mind is focusing on what it does not want to think, have, do, imagine, feel, experience, or manifest. It's what it does all the time. When we take responsibility for this, knowing we are the masters and authority of our next thought process, and can simply choose to focus on whatever we want to focus on, we begin investing our time and energy into something fun, uplifting, trustworthy, and new. Isn't it empowering to any of us to know that we can imagine anything we want at any time? Isn't that empowering? And that new thought process will impact our experience of reality. Let's say all your time was spent focusing on what you do want to manifest, instead of being invested in visualizing and fearing what you don't want. How would your body feel by the end of that day? when you discover that it all boils down to focusing on what you want. You empower yourself to only visualize something wonderful each day. You begin to imagine the warm rays of sunshine reaching into your heart as your feet are cozily nestled in the warm sand, as you're gazing at the orange and pink sunset across the ocean. This thought alone creates an instant happy cocktail in your brain that can relieve you of thought. Only garbage bin overflowing with anxiety and fear. How is this civilization really seriously manipulated and controlled on this planet? Stilling fear through the ego mind. You learn to find the habit of how to replace this, stress, worry, fear, because so many people are experiencing it, with wonder. Instead of fearing what might occur, replace it with being curious and wondering what might occur. Realize that there are an infinite number of possible outcomes that could manifest at any moment in our future. All day long, remain in a constant state of curiosity. You cannot be so arrogant to think that you actually know exactly what this universe has in store for you, or anyone for that matter. Now, as you begin to open the doors of wonder, you start tapping into this awesome sense of innocence inside. It feels like your heart is a newborn flower opening its petals to the sun. For a few moments, right now, allow your heart to feel any feelings you can summon of pure innocence and goodness. Right now. Remember what it was like when you were a fresh newborn baby who knew absolutely nothing. Zero. Playing in the dirt, making sandcastles, looking at a butterfly passing by. Recall what life was like to be curious about everything. We are always relating to this life in a state of awe about every little thing around us. We see this amazing universe for what it truly is. This is the path of perpetual curiosity. And you know what it does? Every single time. It destroys worry instantly every single time. Implement this simple curiosity switch. The moment you find your mind going into the worryville, and with a bit of practice, your mind will shift gears automatically and will be replacing worry with wonder for you each time. You will soon discover that your time on this earth will naturally be filled with wonder, making every day absolutely wonderful. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath. In through the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Who are you really? You're so much more than your role in this life. Who you are is not defined by what you do for a living or how nice of a car you're driving around town. It's too big to be defined by the kind of clothes you wear, nor by how many vacations you took last year. Your real nature cannot be defined by how good you are as a friend, companion, employee, spouse, or friendly neighbor. Truth, who you truly are, is beyond words. You are this vast, timeless, infinite consciousness that can never die. I invite you to look into the silent depth of your heart right now and explore, unveil, and discover your true infinite nature. Tonight is the beginning of an amazing new life. Let go. Be happy. Be free. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Friday, April 12, 2024, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or outside of you.